Today we're going to look at the different effects we can get when we use salt in our watercolour washes. I have 3 types of salt here in front of me. I have ordinary table salt, some sea salt, and some pink Himalayan salt. So the other thing I have three different types of paper. This is a smooth paper, hot pressed, and the other 2 are cold pressed, and this one is a rough cold pressed. So I'm going to get started, and I'm going to put some clean water on my page. I'll start with this, the smoothest of my papers, and onto that then I'm going to put on some ultramarine blue, and then I'm going to drop on some salt. Now there are varying theories on when you should put on the salt. Some people say you should put it on when you have given the paint time to soak into the paper and the sheen is just going off the paper, that's the right time to put it on. Others say put it on straight away, so I think we'll do both. So we'll put on some straight away. So we'll start with our table salt up here, and we add a little bit of rock salt or sea salt here, and I'll add more paint there, and we'll try the Himalayan. I just put on some Himalayan salt there. And again, maybe just ordinary table salt. So on to my next one, which is a cold press paper. I'm going to put on some of the earth tones, and again some will say that your different pigments will react differently to the salt, and pigments like ultramarine blue, it's granulating, so it's supposed to react better with the salt than some other pigments. So the earth pigments are supposed to have greater reactions as well. So on that note, I'm going to look at putting on a burnt sienna, and we'll see how that reacts to the salt. I'm just using this wet on dry this time as well. So these are wet into wet, and this is wet on dry. And just see how the salt reacts to that. So again, I just think I'll use the sea salt this time. Let's see what happens with that. And again, another one suggested would be yellow ochre. Again, I'm going to go wet on dry, and we'll see what happens when we try that one. So now I'm just going to use some ordinary table salt here. And I'm going to go wet into wet here now again, and I'm going to add some purple. And this time I'm going to give it a few minutes for the paint to soak in, and then I will add my salt. Now I think it's ready to go, so I'll just put on. This is the sea salt. I'm going to try some of my greens. It's a pre-mixed green. I'm not sure what kind of a green it is. It is, let me see now. It's an olive green. Just put it on here, and we'll see how that reacts to the salt. Again, this is wet into wet. And I'm going to use my table salt here. This is the rough paper, and I'm going to go with an indigo here. This is a very deep blue. And into that now I'm going to put some sea salt. And I think I'll just put a little bit of Himalayan salt here as well. I don't find this one to be as effective as the other ones, but we'll just give it a go. So now there are my experiments with my salt, and we'll come back later and see what happens. I know that the salt has a chemical reaction with the paint, and it leaves some beautiful little marks on the washes. So it tends to be different a lot, every time. The important thing is though to let it dry completely. And I don't find that using a hairdryer or any other kind of mechanical means to dry it helps in any way. So I would be inclined to let them dry naturally, and we'll come back and we'll see what effect we have. These are our dried experiments with the salt in our washes, and you can see there that there is definite texture. The rock salt leaves obviously bigger marks and bigger texture on the paint than the likes of the table salt. And there's our blues, and here are our tones, our burnt sienna and our yellow ochre. And again, the sea salt has left definite little texture marks, and again here small little textures there from the table salt. And on our violet again we have lovely kind of little starburst textures on our paint. And again on the green was done with the table salt, the violet was done with the rock salt, and they both have lovely textural marks. The green would remind you of lichen or moss. And then on the indigo, the very dark blue, we have again some kind of starburst texture again that might be useful for a snow scene, you know. So I suppose there are a lot of variables with, you know, with these experiments. Like this one was the rough paper, so, and this was the smooth, so and then the in-between papers as well that have a little texture on them. So again, as I said, there's lots of variables. Different paints will give you different results. The timing of when you put the salt on will give you different results. So as I said before, I think you know, it's something you could experiment with yourself, and you know, you'll get your own results and your own different types of texture using salt in your work. I definitely think it's worth using and worth practicing with, because you can use it in your landscapes, you can use it in your you know, in stormy effects or seas, or you know, so there's loads of different ways you can use salt in the work. So have a go and see how you get on with your brand of paints, your paper, and how you apply it.